with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 20. I'm going to jump right into it, fam. No hesitation. You know where to find Knicks Home Court. I just got to jump right into it. Look, the Knicks are now 3-6. 3-6. There will be no NBA news, and the topic is the Knicks. Should we panic? Let me just say this real quick before I get into any of the last three games, because I waited for the last three games, being that they were in a bunch, instead of doing it after every game. Let me just say this. Knicks fans, stop acting like the sky is falling after every few wins. Every few losses, excuse me. After every few losses. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. I'm tired of this. What are you tired of? It's 9 games into the season. People are looking at this season, and they can't help but bring in the last seasons. You're acting like scorn lovers. I'm on Twitter, and it's crazy. You see the lack of perspective coming from Knicks fans and intelligent people. Not just dummies and emotional people, but they're being very emotional. And I always ask people, what do you expect? What did you expect? It's 9 games into the season. Derrick Rose missed just about the whole preseason. Joakim Noah missed half of the preseason. The team is learning a new system. They're learning each other. This is about what? How many new players on this team? 7, 8 new players? Come on, man. I mean, if you look at it, Golden State, which is a super team, which will be a super team with Kevin Durant, got blown out by the Lakers. The Spurs started off hot. They've been losing a few games. Early in the season, everything is wacky, man. It's wacky early on. Teams are figuring out who they are. You know, you're going to see every team go through their struggles. The Knicks have been playing nothing but playoff teams this whole season so far. So please, climb down off the roof. Get off the roof. Stop flipping out on Twitter. You know, it's the end. It's over. You know, don't get me wrong. I have things to complain about when it comes to the Knicks as well. But at the same time, it's 9 games into the season. Yeah, they 3-6, and I'm going to cover those losses. But out of those losses, there's not many losses where they should have actually won. I mean, according to Vegas, according to anything, there's a lot of those losses that should have been losses. Now, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep explaining this. If the Knicks continue to lose, of course, I'm going to have a problem as well. But I'm not going to think, whoa, 15 years or the last 10 years. You know, sometimes I hear some of the stupidest stats I've ever heard when they comparing stats from last year when it's a completely different team. It doesn't make sense. I get it. People are emotional. You know, fans are emotional. But come on, people. It's 9 games into the season. It's 9 games. The season ain't really start yet. It's still, listen. Be patient. It's going to take patience. I can imagine if the Knicks would have had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and they started off 8-7, they would have been going crazy here in New York. And that was a super duper team. Relax, people. All right, that's just my little rant. But now I'm going to get into the games. I'm going to start with the Brooklyn game. This is going to be really quick here. Now, the Brooklyn game, the Knicks played like a team that has more talent, period. They played like a team. They did exactly what a team that's better than another team does. You know, sometimes a team with less talent comes out with great effort and they make a big push, but a good enough team just knows, I'm going to stick with it and I'm going to keep coming. And the Knicks did exactly that, and they crushed the Nets with good team defense, very good offense, and ball movement. Now, there's not really much to talk about. They didn't have Jeremy Lin. This is a game they should have won. There's no doubt about it. You know, I mean, I didn't look at it as super impressive, but what I was impressed by is you put bad teams away. You just do that. You don't mess around. And they did that. I would be alarmed if they would have lost to Brooklyn. I would have been alarmed if they'd had to win that game on the last second shot. But these are still NBA teams, folks. All right? So I think that, that game doesn't need much analysis. Because I really want to get to the Toronto game. But that game, like I said, the Knicks played well. They played together. They made a run. Melo took over like he's supposed to do. And Melo is also finding his way with his new group. When should he take over? When should he ISO? ISO ball is not bad when Melo's going. When Melo got it going, you got to let him go. And you saw that against Brooklyn. The team is still adjusting to Kristaps Porzingis having a bigger role. Because they're starting to know to win, they're going to have to let that boy ball out. And he's starting to do it. Anyway, I'm just going to move on to the next game. Boston. That game was disgusting on many levels. First of all, the foul calls was ridiculous. I mean, it almost felt like a fixed game. Let's be real. That shit was bullshit. Melo got a tech, which I thought the first tech was crazy. The second tech was ridiculous. As you can look, I've seen players be way more demonstrative than Melo, even though the guy was walking away, and I feel like, yes, Melo should have walked away. Melo should have left it alone. However, he's just doing what a lot of players do. Even after they get a tech, they'll talk to the ref. And most refs will tell him, listen, say another word, you're out of here. He didn't do that. It was like he was listening. He was walking away, but one ear was taped to behind his head to hear what Melo was saying. And Courtney Lee said something, and then he threw Melo out. Let's be real. And the Knicks lost that game to the Boston Celtics, who were missing some players. But without Melo, I didn't think the Knicks. I was hoping the Knicks would win. They put up a little small fight, and then they got crushed. Because they're still adjusting to being a team together. And then when you take their best player out, it's difficult. I'm not making excuses. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not making excuses. When you're playing against a playoff team and your best player gets kicked out of the game early, and by the way, he was balling and the Knicks was coming back on him, that's what happens. I thought that right after that, they should have went heavy to Kristaps Porzingis. One thing I want to say about Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose, everybody knows this by now, he's not a max player anymore. This is the one thing. On the positive side of Derrick Rose, he's looked good. He looks good. He's made some nice moves, some nice plays, but he's not a max player any longer. He's not. Because when Melo got kicked out, you saw him try to step it up, but he couldn't. I see Derrick Rose sometimes try to make a move and get by people. He just don't have that quickness. Now, I realize his quickness is different. He's still fast, but he doesn't have the same quickness. Meaning, in small spaces, he can't just get by people like he used to. But he can use stop and go techniques, and on the run, he still has decent speed. End-to-end speed, still very good. And that's where he has to get a lot of points. But as far as within the half court, trying to make a quick move, he just doesn't have that. He doesn't have that speed. He doesn't. And I think he needs to become a better point guard. I was going to say quarterback, because he does a lot of jump passes, which is very annoying. And I realized without Melo, they needed to really lean on Kristaps Porzingis. And Kristaps Porzingis is still not ready to carry the load. For all y'all people who keep saying Kristaps is the Knicks' best player, he is not, man. He is not. Yes, he's a two-way player, but he's not better than Melo yet. Stop it. Just stop it. You got to see. It was all on them, and they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't come close. He's not ready to be the number one guy. Now, he's ready to be a strong number two, though. He's ready to assume number two and let Derrick Rose be number three. I'm down with that. But the foul calls against the Knicks, against Boston, was ridiculous. And everybody knows the officiating was disgusting. Let's be real. It was just terrible. I'm watching the game and I'm like, yo, they are calling the ticky-tack foul calls. There was a 24-second clock violation by Boston. It didn't hit the rim. They didn't even bother looking at the replay. Now, I don't know the rules about that, to be fair, as far as should they look at that individual replay. But it was like everybody saw it. I don't know if they do replays on that. It was out of bounds play. I'm sure they probably could have. I don't know. There was just a lot of questionable calls. And I was watching the game. I got to say, I was watching the game on the Boston Network. Oh, God, I had to get back to MSG. What's his name? Tommy Heinchen, I think it is. Boston announcers are the worst announcers I've ever heard. Forget about homerism. He's just delusional. Everything, damn. I don't mind you kind of wanting your players to do well. Clyde wants the Knicks to do well, but he calls out, he tries to call the game fairly. But when players do good moves, Clyde will be like, yeah, moving and grooving, good play. Clyde, but this guy, every single thing, he's just a fan on the mic right now. I think it's Tommy Heinchen. I might have the name wrong, but it's just the worst to listen to. I cannot listen to it. I had to change it. So that's about it when it comes to the Boston game. Once Melo got kicked out, we all knew the chances were. First of all, it was a hard game to win without Melo being kicked out. Then once Melo got kicked out, we knew the game was practically over. And you know what? Isaiah Thomas can shoot, man. That kid can ball. It's amazing that he's 5'9" and they can't stop him. That kid can ball. And I saw it. I saw it in Sacramento. And NBA teams sometimes are biased against height. When a guy can ball, one thing I say about players and their height, when they can shoot, that kind of compensates a little bit for height. We got Calvin Murphy, who's in the Hall of Fame. This play is that height. I think Nate Robinson could have been a bigger time player if he was allowed to score. But teams didn't want to do it because he was 5'7". But he still was baking dudes. He played good for Chicago in the playoffs, averaging almost 30 points a game, and they didn't even sign him the next year. It's crazy. Anyway, that's enough of that. Now I want to get into this Toronto game. I was wanting to get into this game. I thought the Knicks played excellent, honestly. Now, let me ask everybody. Well, it's a rhetorical question because you can't answer me. But did you think the Knicks were going to beat Toronto? In Toronto? We all hoped they was going to win that game. But did you think they were going to beat this team? This is a team that won 56 games last year, and DeMar DeRozan's playing at an MVP level, doing shit as far as scoring that we haven't seen in this league since Jordan. This boy is playing on another planet right now. And we hung tough. We had a chance to win the game. We just didn't win the game. It's not like we played like shit. I don't understand the outrage. What I'm looking for with this Knicks team is I'm looking for progression. I'm looking to see, are they getting better? The ball movement was, at times in this game, was excellent. Was absolutely excellent. The ball movement has improved in the last few games, and it was excellent against Toronto. I saw a great effort, a team that really tried to win the game. They really put forth a great effort, but they lost to a better team right now. Toronto's a team that's been together for years. They got the same system, the same coach, the same players, and they're allowed to grow in that system. Now, the Knicks do need that, but I'll just say this. Look, we played, when I looked at the schedule just recently, and I saw Boston and Toronto on the back-to-back, I said, man, that could be 2 losses. And that's before Melo. I didn't know Melo was going to get kicked out of the Boston game, a game I thought we could have won. He got kicked out of that Boston game. Then you have the only game when I look over the season. Let's look to the Knicks loss. The Knicks got 6 losses. They lost to Cleveland in Cleveland on ring night. We hoped they would win that game. We knew they wasn't going to win that game. Let's be real. It was basically Derrick Rose's first preseason game or second preseason game. Okay? Who else we lost to? We lost to Toronto, playoff team. We lost to Boston, playoff team. We lost to Detroit, playoff team. A game I felt like we should have won, we could have won. I wouldn't say should have, but we could have really won that game. We got blown out by Houston. Only game we really got blown out of. You know, we lost to Utah. I think out of the games we lost, the games I feel like we really should had a chance to win, Utah and Detroit. However, those are all good teams, and they all might make the playoffs. Every single team we lost to. I saw a report. I'm not even gonna say his name because I really appreciate his work, but I really thought it didn't make sense what he had said when he was like, Knicks will struggle against good teams. And I'm like, good teams struggle against good teams. Do y'all understand? That's a good team. Good teams struggle against good teams. I guarantee you, if you look around the league, a lot of times good teams have, how you become a really good team in the NBA is you have a 500 record against good teams. You strive for a 500 record against good teams, and you strive for you want to win about maybe 70% of the games against bad teams. 70 to 80% of the games against bad teams, and that's how you accumulate a very good record. But even good teams only expect to win 50% of their games against other good teams, unless you're a super team. That's why they call them a super team, because they do well against everyone. So I'm just saying, man. And I want to talk a little bit about individual plays. Kuzminskis, you see, he's coming slowly. He's getting good slowly. He's getting used to the game slowly. This is a process. These are European players. They're just coming into the league. The physicality, the speed, they have to get used to it. He's slowly getting used to that. Hernan Gomez had a good game the other night. You thought that was it. He's going to be in a rotation. But still, this is the NBA. You don't just bust in like that, especially when you're coming from another country, another league. It takes some time. I think, again, see, these are things that I know will get better as the season progresses. I refuse to believe that this team, with all of this talent, is going to continue to lose at this rate. Players are going to get better. I expect Hernan Gomez to get better. I expect Kuzminskis to get better. The Kuz. I expect Porzingis to get better. I expect the team to get to know each other better on the court. The effort they put in against Toronto, honestly, they would have beat most teams in the league. Of course, except possibly the top of the league. The San Antonios, the Golden States, the Clevelands, the Clippers. Like the top of the league, the Torontos, obviously. We're going to lose some of those games, no matter how good we play. So, y'all miss me with the crying and the complaining, saying, oh, the Knicks are so bad because we 3-6. Nah, man, take a closer look at the games. I watched every game this season. I'm not disappointed. I'm not worried. I'm seeing good things. I'm seeing a team slowly but surely getting better. I'm seeing professional pride come to the forefront. I knew they was going to play good against Toronto tonight because they really wanted that game against Boston. I knew Melo was going to come out playing well. But one thing I'll say, I don't know how it happened, but I do like the fact that Melo also let Porzingis do his thing in the fourth quarter. I think the Knicks have to figure out a way to have everybody doing their thing at the same time. Derrick Rose, Kristaps Porzingis, Carmelo, like flowing. I think the Knicks need to be able to have balance on the offensive end, where on one side you got Melo, on the other side you got Porzingis, and in the middle you got Rose doing his thing, and you got Noah setting picks. They're gonna get that balance. When they get that balance, and with Courtney Lee, you forgot about, he could do his thing. I do have one complaint though. I think Brandon Jennings has played very well. I think he's out here balling. I think he's making very good passes. But we didn't get Brandon Jennings not to score. The man, to me, is looking like a one and done deal for the Knicks. Say what you want to say, he's not playing that greatly. Yeah, he had 11 assists the other night. Yes, but we need him to score. I see numerous occasions that Brandon Jennings penetrates into the paint, has layups, and will pass it out. Teams are scouting reports, they're starting to catch up to that. His shooting has been atrocious. He doesn't want to shoot. And the problem with Brandon Jennings is he really needs a lot of shots to get into his rhythm. And with this team, he doesn't really want to do that. That's why I say we need a game where he can go off. He needs to relax. He's not going to go on the bench if he takes shots, but he's not playing like Brandon Jennings right now. He's just not playing like Brandon Jennings. We need more scoring from him. We need that. With that second unit, we need him to score a little more. We need him to be a little more aggressive and still keep your head up. It's not easy, but we're going to need that from him. We got a string of tough games coming up. It is what it is. The Knicks have a tough early season schedule. A lot of teams that are off to these good records, teams that are surprising. If you look at their schedule is soft. Charlotte started off, I think, 6-1. I looked at their schedule. They played Brooklyn Nets. I think they played the Brooklyn Nets twice. I mean, they had a really soft schedule. A lot of teams, you gotta understand, every team doesn't start off with the same schedule. Some teams start off with tough schedules. Some teams start off with soft schedules. That's just how it is. In January, the Knicks have a soft schedule. What I'm hoping, the Knicks can hover around 500 until January. And I expect some nice winning streaks in January. Mark my words. They play some terrible teams in January. But that's all I wanted to really say. Knicks fans, relax. The team is doing better than you think. You're counting wins and losses, and yes, these are important, but it's not like we're letting games slip away. We're losing games with good effort against good teams on the road. That Toronto game was in Toronto. They have a really good home court advantage at this point. So I just think that Knicks fans, relax, man. Relax. It's early. Trust me, it's early. I'm seeing good signs. I'm seeing the team coming together. It's going to take time. They just have to hold the fort until they come together. But remember this, pressure makes a diamond. And they have talent. It's not like they're losing these games and they don't have talent. They have talent on that team. It's a matter of coming together. Lance Thomas is hurt again. That might be a bad signing, by the way. People are getting mad at Joakim Noah, like, he had 18 rebounds. He played good last night. Joakim Noah wasn't the problem last night. They lost to a better team as of right now. Come on, man. Anyway, this was like a public service announcement. I didn't truly analyze as much as I wanted to analyze. I think the Knicks defense, like I said, is improving. I'm still seeing little problems. I'm still seeing guys being left open. I'm still seeing a lot of that. And you're going to see that. The Knicks are the type of team that's going to have to play defense in spurts. They don't have the defensive personnel or the desire at times to play like that. A lot of people want Porzingis at the center position. I don't know if I agree with that. But the Knicks have to also punish teams on the offensive side with Porzingis. If you're going to leave him at the 4 and they're going to use these stretch 4s against him, you're going to have to punish other teams for that. You're going to have to make them pay. He's 7'3". Make these teams pay when they put a Patrick Patterson on him. When they put a little short guy on him. Make them pay. Don't tell me big men can't do their thing. If Shaq was in the league and they put Draymond Green on him, it'd be over. Every time down, you go to him. So the Knicks have to utilize Kristaps in that way. They put his power on him, and the Knicks started going to them. But they got to go to him consistently. Let him get 35. So what? So be it. Sometimes we got to dig in on the defensive side and just keep going with what's working for us on the offense. But anyway, folks, that's all I want to say right now. This brings us to the end of this episode of Knicks Home Court, episode 20. You can find these podcasts on iTunes under Life Culture Sports, no spaces. You can also go to the website, lifeculturesports.com/Knicks Home Court. Also, you can find it on YouTube on the Knicks Home Court. You can go to SoundCloud under Life Culture Sports. And that's it. Everybody have a good rest of their weekend and a good week. Let's hope that my next reviews or analyzing the Knicks games will be victories. Because again, it's early. It's early now. There's no reason to panic now. But I'm paying attention. Don't think I'm a Knick apologist. All right? That's all I got to say for now. And y'all take care. Peace.